So I've been an EV owner for several years now, and I've tested my fair share of EVs, which is why when VinFast reached out to me in order to test out the VF8, I was a tad bit nervous. You see, VinFast is a Vietnamese company that's somewhat new to the market. They launched their first car in 2023 last year in North America, and to be honest, they didn't have the greatest reviews. However, unlike some other companies, Fisker, they actually listened to their critics, and they've actually improved on a lot of the things that they were kind of having issues with in 2023. So this is the 2024 VinFast VF8, and I'm gonna take you guys through this car and share my experience with it. I've been doing a lot of pickup and drops with the kids, and I have a bunch of thoughts, both positive, some negative. And also there's 3 specific features which might make somebody wanna buy this car over even a Tesla or some other EV. Make sure you guys stick around for that. I kind of need those to drive. These are like powered, that's why. Okay, on with the review now. So before I get into the review, I actually want to show you guys my first impressions actually picking up and driving this car. And look, I'm going to tell you the spoiler before I get into it. This car is a fantastic lease deal. For under $500 a month, not having to pay for gas, this thing is beautiful for driving around the city. Ooh, we got a nice tan interior. Ample space at the back here. Yo, no way, this thing has a flat bottom steering wheel. Okay, first impressions, I gotta say, I'm pretty darn impressed. So far, pretty smooth, I gotta say, suspension is pretty good. It's an EV, so you get like instant throttle response, which is fantastic. First thing I'm gonna try is the lane keep assist. So, oh, there you go, okay, so the screen just changes. Kind of like a Tesla Autopilot, looks basically like that. Now you gotta keep in mind, this is not gonna give you full self-driving, but it's on par with pretty much most of the car brands in terms of the driving assistance features. Then over the next couple weeks, I wanted to actually use this the way I would use any regular car, like my Tesla. And I took the kids around everywhere, and here was some of my experiences. Firstly, I love the amount of space that you get inside this car. The trunk has ample storage, the power button, trunk close. I didn't know you can actually like open the glass as well. Pretty cool. So usually I'm used to like moonroofs, but this is like a nice open area. The kids are gonna love this. Under $500 Canadian a month, even factoring in your charging costs, you could literally just drive around the entire month and not have to worry about, you know, gas expenses, maintenance expenses, and all that stuff. This is a killer offer for that, and I'm here for it. The other thing I really like about this car is, let me zoom out, the fact that it is very spacious. If I was to take just the kids, all 4 of them fit in here, no issues, with the car seats, with the boosters, and all of that stuff. The turning radius on this is also fantastic. I literally can take like sharp turns or anything, so my wife doesn't have any issues driving this. She's comfortable with it. Hi, large steep tea regular, please.
Have a good day.
You too. And because this is somewhat like an SUV, the ride height is really nice. The space, which I mentioned, is really nice. And overall drivability of this is great as well. So while I waited for my kids to finish the jiu-jitsu class, I just put the car into like camp mode. And then I'm just working here. Space-wise, I can move the seat way back. Have enough space for my laptop to lap it fully here. Yeah. How many stripes do you have now?
And then 2 red stripes.
That's so cool. So in terms of the exterior of this car, a couple things that I want to show here. This design language is pretty nice. It's actually not bad. Like, I love how the headlights come all the way in here. You can see these are like your DRLs that come all the way, and it kind of just forms like a V shape. And then over here on the back is probably my favorite part of the car, because they have this entire LED light that spans the entire side of the car. I think it looks pretty sharp, right? For the most part, from the back, this thing looks the sharpest. That's probably my favorite angle about this car. Okay, now coming into the interior, it's actually pretty tastefully done. Like, you have this nice brown leather with contrast stitching everywhere. Seats are pretty comfortable. This is like soft touch leather. This is all soft touch leather. You have this nice perforated leather all around here. You have a flat bottom steering wheel. I love flat bottom steering wheels. On the side here, you even have leather on like the door sills here, which is kind of nice. Let me show you guys the trunk. Okay, now speaking about the trunk, it's actually quite spacious back here. I could probably lie down in here. Not bad. Like, I fit back here. You could even go ahead and flatten these seats. Boom. Now, one thing that I was a little bit amiss about is that There's not much storage back here, but it could be a pro if you're accident prone, or it could also be a con if you just wanted more storage. I would like more storage. So in terms of space, actually, where did this just come off? You could probably fit like a few snacks or like a backpack or something in here, but that's about it. Closing is manual. Seating space wise, this thing is actually really good. I think it's pretty high for its class. Like, look how much legroom I have here. A lot of room for activities.
So many activities!
My favorite part though is like, even with the Model Y, for example, headroom was a bit of an issue if you were a little bit taller like me, right? I'm 5'7", and like, you know, I get compliments all the time for being too tall, and like headroom used to be an issue. But here, no issues at all. Look at that. I get so much space. And one of my favorite things about this car is the fact that there's a sunroof here. You could do this and get out of the car. Yo, this should be the thumbnail actually. Now, interestingly enough, while we were filming, somebody actually approached us on the street to ask what car it was and get more information on the actual vehicle. Yeah. Oh, thank you. People are interested. People are talking. Now, quickly to talk about the driving experience, and I know I've shared some thoughts throughout, you know, different occasions, but okay, first and foremost, EV torque. It's amazing. Look at that. It's good. It's almost instantaneous, but one thing I noticed is that the moment you put your pedal to the metal, the problem is it's not like for example, with my Model Y, when I would gun it, it would like instantly thrust me. With this, it's a little more of a linear thrust. It does get very fast, and you could probably gap like a lot of the cars that are on the street that are non-EVs, but just something to keep in mind. It's not like as instantaneous of an EV as some of the other EVs out there. I wonder if that's because of drive modes. Oh, so there are some drive modes here. Okay, so I'm gonna switch it over to sport, and we're gonna try that now. This is like the worst intersection. I'm stuck here still. Damn it. 5 hours later. We're gonna gun it in sports mode, VinFast. Let's go. You gotta love EV. Between the sport and thing, I definitely noticed a little more of a pep. Now, as with any product, things aren't perfect. So here are some of the issues that came up for me with the VinFast. Okay, we just wrapped up our shoot, and I'm just basically trying to grab my stuff from the trunk, but it's basically non-existent lighting back here. Usually there's like a light up here somewhere, but there's like nothing. Then we noticed that suddenly our blind spot monitor and the side ambient lights wouldn't turn off. Why is it just blinking? Yeah, this is weird. It's just blinking. Blind spot indicator is on. It turned off. Oh, it's back on. What just happened? It came back on. Okay. Hey, the side lights are fixed. Yeah, the side lights are fixed now. Look at that. Lighting is back. Yeah, we gotta have that mood lighting, you know? On and off, on and off. Yeah. Another time, randomly the parking brake would not disengage. Put it into drive. Yo, what is going on? It actually won't move. It's doing nothing, and because of that, it won't let me drive. Maybe it's like, it needs like a reboot or something. Okay.
Yeah, see that.
Yeah. Okay. And then suddenly the next minute,
Oh.
we're moving. Look, it's gone now. Now, although some of these things could technically be fixed with a over-the-air software update, some of these issues are kind of expected with a new car company. I want to take a quick second to talk about the actual UI and the actual system here. It's pretty intuitive to use because as soon as you boot up the car, you get this page over here, and this is basically like an old Android tablet, okay? You can tap and hold here and it pulls up all of these widgets. I can remove widgets. I can kind of like move widgets around, and then I can add a widget. Press and hold. I'm gonna put this here. You also have the app drawer over here, which you can just jump into, and that'll just open up all of your apps. At the end of the day, the only thing that I would say about the system is like the reverse camera and stuff. The moment I put it into reverse camera, like you can really tell the resolution of the cameras and stuff is not the best. And like even when I move, so I'm moving right now, it's laggy. But I will say the 360-degree parking camera is nice. Now there's 3 features that are absolute standouts in my opinion with this car that a lot of cars don't even have. Firstly being wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. I know some cars are finally coming around to it, but a lot of them are still physically connected with a wire. Boom. Nice and big. This thing is huge. Now, the other thing that I absolutely love is heads-up display. Yeah, this thing actually has it. A lot of cars don't. So this gives you the best of both worlds. You get your somewhat of a second screen here, but with all the pertinent information, and you have your bigger screen here. Love that. Now, the third feature that's an absolute standout is this car comes with heated and ventilated seats for both your front and back. So let's say I put my front seats to heated, and then, you know, my wife at the back is getting very heated, so I'm gonna cool her down a little bit.
Now let's quickly talk about pricing. In the US, the VF8 comes with the Eco model for $46,000, or you can get the Plus model for $51,800. Whereas in Canada, you're looking at about $53,600 for the Eco model and $59,200 for the Plus. Now the Plus model does give you more power, however, you trade in some mileage for that. And I personally think for an EV like this, you want to go for the Eco.
By the way, if you're worried about like warranty or anything, they're actually pretty good. They give you 10 years or 125,000 mile warranty, which is actually quite a bit higher than industry standards. Okay, so overall, here's my final thoughts on this car. This is not an overly exciting car by any means, right? It's not gonna do like record 0 to 60 speeds. It's not gonna be ultra luxurious. But if you are looking for a SUV crossover that's gonna have some solid features, that's gonna take you from point A to point B and do it at a really good price point and monthly cost, also not having to pay gas every month, that is kind of big pro as well, then that just might be this car's strong suit.
Now, if you were planning to pick up this car, I would definitely urge you to check out the Lease deals, because to me, that's what stood out the most. And look, at the end of the day, if you're looking for an EV that has some solid features that even many of the luxury cars don't have in a crossover SUV body, then this might be a solid option for you to check out.
If you're interested, then head on over to a VinFast dealer and actually test drive one. And I'd love to hear your experience in the comments down below.